Chris and Steve from Ploughcroft are renewable installers, and they're going to give us a demonstration this morning. Chris, tell us what you're going to be doing.
Well, first of all, yeah, you can hear me. I can hear myself working now.
There you go.
Right, well, we're going to demonstrate the PV panels. We're going to put 2 of them onto this roof, straight in front of you. This is Stephen. We work together at Ploughcroft.
First sort of key element to any sort of installation as far as you're concerned.
Okay, well, first thing, before you even do anything, you need to get your instruction manual and follow it. Then you need to probably get scaffolding up, all on the front here, with a double handrail and a kickboard, so you're safe. And then somewhere about here, you'd have a hoist to hoist the panels up. And we'd do a manual handling risk assessment to check that we're fit and able to get the panels up on the roof surface.
Okay, so should we get on with fitting?
Yeah, certainly. So we've already, if I hand the instruction manual back, we've already pre-put this bottom rail on, which has got brackets such as this. You can probably see push. What I've got to do is get these tiles up the top so that we can put the brackets in place. So these would normally be nailed, but so it's easier for you to see, we've not nailed these. So we'll put one in there, and then we will put one here. And if Stephen follows me, he should be able to. In fact, you want to give me the.
Which Chris is putting in place now. There's all different types of roof type mounting systems for plain tiles, for concrete Marley moderns like these are. If you have a look on there, on this board to one side, this is all the kit which you can purchase from the Plumb Centre. It's a one-stop shop. All you need to do is order whatever size system will fit on your roof, and Plumb Centre will supply you with all the kit you need to be able to install.
And we would, also, in the Plumb Centre, there's also a solar-ready roofing service. Which
Firstly, before we put screws in, we pre-drill all the rafters, and then we always put 2 screws in place to hold the brackets firmly in position.
Right, so we're ready to put these down now.
One thing you've got to always remember when you're putting these systems on your roof, the subsidies are a 25-year process. Now, if your roof is in poor condition, obviously it's not going to last you 25 years. So at that point, what you'll have to do is strip all the PV back off. And then
Right, so what we're going to do now is offer this rail into position. Are you going for one end and I'll go the other?
yeah, I'll hold it for you.
And then the other thing I'll just mention is there's a solar deck slate here. Those you can zoom in on this. It's where you pass the cables from inside the loft out, and it's part of the MCS.
You measure that end,
That's
it's
40, that'll be
right,
40, won't it? Right, so we're going to offer this into position. Have you taken your gloves off? Oh, we didn't say that, did we? You'll notice I've got gloves. My microphones.
You've got the end clamps and you've got your mid clamps. Obviously self-explanatory. The end clamps are for the end of the system. The mid clamps are between the 2 panels. Quite easy to install. Nice click over. They just place them onto the rail, pull it over, and it just clicks into position. Just nicely like that. Nice, straightforward. Then, Chris, as he's showing you now, I'll show you how to put the mid clamps on.
The mid clamps, yeah. So we'll put one on there, then bring it over. So it's
normally you put your panels around about 1 metre.
Using a hoist, and then I'd bring it on the scaffolding. And again, you've got to be aware of the weather conditions, because if it's really windy, these are like sails, so you wouldn't do this in gale force winds.
Firstly, before we put any of the panels on the roof, we check to see that there's no faults with the panels, which means getting a multimeter and a light meter and doing a full check of the panel, making sure everything's as it should be. Because once you've got 16 panels on a roof, if there's a fault with one of them, obviously then you've got to go through every single panel one after another to find out where the fault is. If you do it before you put it on the roof, you know when you've got them on, they're going to work.
Right, we're going for it. There we go. Right, so put it on the end clamps first. Do you want to put it over the end?
Yeah.
That's it. I've got the weight.
Okay.
Are we equal top and bottom? It looks it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Have you got
Today, isn't it? It is.
It's because I like screwing the screws in.
Doing everything. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chris, as I'm tightening this up, Chris is holding panel, making sure it doesn't slip anywhere.
And then I'm going to slide this. Oh, go on then.
Once it's on the roof and it's in position, and I'm tightening these brackets. Obviously, if I was before they were fully tight.
will obviously form the string, so that you've got a full string of PV panels connected together.
So, Chris, look, can I say...
Right. Firstly, obviously, once the panels are all fit on the roof, we've got to connect it through to an inverter, which obviously will allow it to transfer it from a DC current to an AC current, which is why we have this inverter, which is a Furonius TL 3.6. Very efficient, limited to 3.6 amps, so the 16 amps, sorry, so that no problems with the DNO. We can just straight connect it in there.
DNO are the district network operator, or the national grid, for want of a better word.
Once the inverter's installed, it comes down into a DC isolator. Then that's so we can turn it off and switch it on, so that at any one point we can isolate the inverter from the panels, so that if we ever need to take it off, we can do. Then once we've got that in place, we need to attach the AC cable, which goes from the inverter again through the AC isolator and into the generation meter and down to your supply. All these products, when they're installed, mainly you've got to make sure you have all the warning labels put on, all part of an MCS requirement and electrical regulations. And once all that lot's been completed, obviously we can commission the system and just make sure everything's running as it should be.
That you should use a tile that's similar to this, and you'd pass this through one of these. That's what it's designed for. Just for those, so you're aware, if you see any roofers try and do this and then trap the tile back, so it's like that, and the tile is actually on the. That is absolutely wrong. If you had 16 of those, it would probably give you something like 3,000 units of electric per year.
Right.
Which is probably in the region of about £600, roughly, from the feed-in tariff.
It's worth having.
Yeah, and then you obviously get the saving on your electricity as well during the daylight hours, so there's an added saving there. Yeah, and we'd install one of these systems with 16 panels in one full day.